How do you escape a friend who stalked you for months after you cut her off? I saw Vanessa's car parked outside my apartment at 6 in the morning on a Wednesday in March, the same silver Camry she'd been driving since college, and my stomach dropped because I'd blocked her number 3 weeks ago and told her explicitly never to contact me again. She sat in the driver's seat drinking coffee and staring at my building's entrance, waiting. I watched from my bedroom window for 20 minutes while she just sat there, not moving, not looking at her phone, just watching. When I finally left for work through the back exit, I checked over my shoulder every 30 seconds during the entire walk to the subway station. That evening, her car was there again. Same spot, same position, same coffee cup in her hand. This had been happening every morning and evening for 6 days straight, and I was starting to understand that blocking someone's number didn't make them disappear. The friendship had ended badly, but I'd thought it was actually over. 3 weeks earlier, I'd finally confronted Vanessa about the pattern I'd been ignoring for 2 years. The constant texts checking where I was and who I was with, the unannounced visits to my apartment that always happened when I was with other friends, the way she'd show up at bars or restaurants I'd mentioned going to, then act surprised to see me there, the crying phone calls at midnight when I didn't respond to her messages within an hour, the guilt trips about how I was her only real friend, and she didn't know what she'd do without me. I'd been making excuses for her behavior because we'd known each other since freshman year, because she'd been there for me during my breakup with my ex-boyfriend, because ending a 7-year friendship felt cruel and dramatic. But my roommate Priya had finally said what I'd been avoiding. Vanessa wasn't being a good friend. She was being obsessive and controlling, and I needed to set boundaries before it got worse. So I'd met Vanessa at a coffee shop and told her I needed space. I'd practiced the speech with Priya, tried to be kind but firm, explained that her constant need for my attention was overwhelming and unhealthy for both of us. I said I wanted to take a break from the friendship for a few months while we both figured out healthier ways to relate to people. Vanessa had stared at me across the table with this expression I couldn't read, not crying, not angry, just completely blank. Then she'd asked if this was because of Priya, if Priya had been telling me lies about her, if I was choosing Priya over her after everything we'd been through together. I said no, this was about the two of us and the dynamic that wasn't working. She'd nodded slowly, said she understood, gathered her things, and left without another word. I'd felt relieved and guilty in equal measure, thinking maybe she'd actually accepted it gracefully. 2 days later, the texts started. First, a long message about how she'd been thinking about our conversation, and realized I was right, that she'd been too dependent on me, that she wanted to work on herself, and maybe we could talk again in a few weeks. I didn't respond. Then another message asking if I'd gotten her first message, if my phone was working okay, if everything was alright. I didn't respond to that either. Then messages became more frequent, 3, then 5, then 8 per day, asking what I was doing, telling me about her day, sharing memes she thought I'd find funny, acting as if we were still in regular contact. After 4 days of this, I sent one message back. Vanessa, I asked for space. Please respect that and stop texting me. She responded immediately. I'm sorry, I just miss you. I'll stop. But she didn't stop. The texts continued, now with a different tone. She was worried about me. Had she done something specific to upset me? Could we just talk for 5 minutes to clear the air? She deserved to know what she'd done wrong so she could fix it. I blocked her number. She started calling from different numbers. Work phone, her mother's phone, numbers I didn't recognize. I stopped answering calls from unknown numbers. She started emailing. Long rambling messages about our friendship, memories from college, how much I meant to her, how she was struggling without me, how she'd never had a friend as close as me, how I was abandoning her when she needed me most. I blocked her email. She created new email addresses. I set up filters to automatically delete anything from her. She found me on every social media platform I had and sent messages there. I blocked her on everything. That's when she started showing up in person. To see the full story, click the link below or go on my channel.